I'm Michelle and I'm talking with James Shenton, the Managing Director at Tuffa UK, about the history of Tuffa and also James's journey to the top. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Michelle.
So, James, tell us a little bit about how Tuffa started.
Sure. So the business is coming up to nearly 40 years old.
Wow.
And it was started by my mum and dad. Quite different to how it is now. They started off installing who are now our competitors' tanks. They did that for a number of years until they decided, do you know what, I think we can maybe do this as well. So they started manufacturing steel tanks out of a shed in Shenton, which is in the Midlands. We did that for a number of years, and then in 1992 we bought the site where we currently operate, and then the market changed. People wanted plastic tanks rather than steel tanks, and so we decided to take the jump and get into rotational moulding.
So is that sort of where the idea of Tuffa came from, really?
I think it was something that my mum and dad were good at doing, and decided to push further into the industry.
What changes have you seen then from the days of making cups of tea, because I'm sure they made you do that at some point, to where you are today?
So I joined the business in 2010, and you're absolutely right. The first job I would have in the office would be making tea and coffee for people and doing the most basic of administration that they would trust me to do. And then moving forward, I did procurement, then project development, which was really good at honing skills, understanding all the different ancillary parts that make up all the products we design and build, into management now. So now it's all about team building and integrating and being a visionary.
Yeah, amazing. So you really have, come up through the company, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, from the ground up.
Yeah.
How has it changed over the years?
Yeah.
I would say the ability to rotomold goods has put us in every industry. So we do everything from kerosene, any petrochemical, any industrial chemical, water, and so on. But the market is changing, the world's changing, with a trend away from fossil fuels. So
of course, yeah.
We're ready to pivot. It's just when that pivot's needed.
Yeah. How do you actually find the experience of controlling a company as big as Tuffa?
It comes with its challenges. Understanding how to build a team and to integrate is probably one of the most important aspects of the job.
Would you say you've got sort of a greater sense of responsibility because it's a family-owned business and because, it's your parents' business and then you've sort of come in and taken it over? That's quite a lot on someone's shoulders, isn't it? I would feel that sort of pressure almost.
Yeah, there is certainly pressure. I mean, we have 55 members of staff now, so there is there is pressure to make sure that we keep making sales and we keep generating profit, so that everyone can have a livelihood.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's a family business, I don't think that gives me any pressure, actually. My mum and dad have always had such a confidence in me to go and carry it on and turn it into whatever you will.
That's actually really lovely. It sounds like they're incredibly supportive of you.
Yeah, incredibly.
Yeah. What impact would you say the past 3 years has had on the business, considering COVID? But not just that, we've got fuel crisis, the supply chain issues that we've had, and generally the economy, because there's quite a lot of stuff and it's been pretty tough for a lot of people.
I mean, I think we're probably in the same boat as almost all manufacturers. The last 3 years have been challenge after challenge, COVID being probably the first one. We've got challenges in getting goods out the door. We've got moral challenges of making sure we look after our staff. I think the knock-on effect with that has been the supply chain. So getting product has been incredibly difficult. It has stabilised now,
Great.
Thankfully. But getting the product in, especially when you've got a relatively complex operation, you need to make sure you've got all your goods at the right time so that you can go and make the kit that you promised someone for a certain date. The fuel crisis that we've had, ironically, for a business that makes fuel storage systems, we're our busiest when the fuel prices are low and when the fuel prices are high. People want storage. It's when it's stable, that's when demand will go back to normal.
Right, that's interesting, very interesting. So it sounds like you've had a challenging but actually quite successful few years as managing director.
Yes, yeah, it's been a success. We still kick a lot of product out the door. We grow every year. We're able to invest in the different markets that we want to design and build into. So yeah, I cannot complain.
So how do you see the next 3 years for Tuffa?
We've got a number of products coming out this year, in fact.
Right.
I call it the slingshot moment.
Right.
So we've been winding up on this slingshot for a little while now, and we're finally going to let it go this year.
Primed.
Yeah, it is actually a really exciting time. It's one I've been looking forward to for, you could say, for 4 years, let's say. Great. The next 3 years are going to be great. The business is going to be completely different by the end of this year compared to what it would be right now. Lots more product going through the door, new machinery, new infrastructure, new systems, new team. Yeah, it's going to be a different business altogether.
Gosh, exciting times. How do you see Tuffa's contribution to the hydrogen landscape? Because that's quite a big thing.
This is a market we're definitely interested in moving into. We're pretty early at the moment, but we have got contacts and some design ideas that we want to put into the marketplace. Hydrogen brings a whole host of other challenges that don't currently exist.
Well, I was going to say, with like storing it and sort of distributing it, I mean...
Yeah, the market as a whole, the industry as a whole has got a challenge. It's expensive currently. Like anything new, it's usually, it comes at a price. Hydrogen comes at a price to make. So hopefully world governments are going to back the production of it so that they can bring the price down, so that they get market interest, so that third-party manufacturers like ourselves can start building product for the industry.
Yeah. Do you think there'll be a significant change in Tuffa's, for want of a better word, mission plan, as we sort of move away from fossil fuels?
Absolutely. I mean, we still think we've got at least 10 to 15 years of good business in the market.
Interesting.
The stance of where Tuffa are in the fossil fuel market has only got room to grow. But for sure, there will be a pivot, there will be a shift towards more net zero targets and clean fuels, hydrogen being one of the big ones. It's going to have a big part to play in the future to come. That, as well as water conservation. So water is already an issue globally.
Of course it is, well, especially with the past summer that we had and all the issues with the drought.
So water conservation, rainwater harvesting, and smarter water storage systems in people's homes are going to become the norm. So we see ourselves moving into both of those markets.
Wow, interesting. Just previously, you sort of mentioned some of the exciting new products and things that are coming out, and I know you've got an eye for design. So are there any sort of sneak peeks on strategies that you're currently working on for new products that you can give us?
So if we look into the hydrogen space, the big markets there are going to be on the road passenger vehicles, they're going to be heavy goods vehicles and marine, as well as downstream industrial applications. So I can't say too much about what direction we're currently looking into, but that's all on the table.
Ooh, so watch this space.
You could say.
That's all we're going to say. Are the NPI and NPD processes technical and lengthy?
Actually, the best ideas when they start don't have any of the bureaucracy or technical aspect to it. They start on the back of fag packets, you could say.
They're not still smoking, are they?
No,
especially not around fuel tanks.
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that. Health and safety.
But the process, the process is technical. Yeah, once you've got that idea on paper, and it can come from one of your colleagues, it can come from usually one of your suppliers or customers, and those conversations start off you know, quick chats or over the phone or over dinner.
Water cooler moment or...
Exactly. And it's only when you get into the nitty gritty and you start really thinking, okay, how are we going to make it? What features are we going to have? Who are we going to sell it to? What price point do we want to sell it at? And that's when the questions start appearing, and it does become challenging. So I mentioned before, you really need to apply the theory of Pareto. You need to figure out who is the 90-95% of people that we need to sell to, because that's the best product we need to design.
Yeah, brilliant. I can only imagine how rewarding it feels when you've invested so much time, the effort, the money into this new product or service, and then you get to see it launched. Must feel great.
That's the best moment. The best moment is when you see the product for the first time on the yard, ready to ship, or getting loaded into a wagon. That's the cherry on top for me, because I mean you could have spent years seeing this product perhaps on a computer generated design system, which is good and all, because you get a feel for what the product's gonna end up looking like, but not until you see it in its full form, made on the machines that you have in the factory, see the guys and the girls working on it, putting it together, and then getting shipped. That is the best part of design and build.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, listen, thank you, James, for being here. I know we've all learned a lot about the business and your hard work, and also your journey as well, which is really, really interesting. And that's it from us today. Thanks for watching.